To the police officers, we support you. We love you. We know it's not easy to be a police officer. We know we're losing a lot of good people from the force. Some due to retirement, but some, they're just sick of all the garbage. But I'd ask you, keep at it for as long as you can. Keep doing this important work because there are a lot of us out there who are grateful for it. And in about 6 months, your job's going to become a hell of a lot easier. God bless you guys, and thank you for having me here in Wisconsin. So, what we'll do here is we'll take a few questions from reporters before we get on our way. And what I would ask is we'll get to the national reporters if we've got time. But if you're a local Wisconsin reporter, either in the Milwaukee area or outside of it, maybe start there, raise your hand, and I'll call on you first. So we got anybody? Ma'am, in the yellow dress.
Hi there. I'm Julia Fellow with 620 WTMJ. So glad that you're here. I was just talking to the president of the Milwaukee Police Association just yesterday live. He was talking about how there's 200 openings, and then there's going to be maybe 60 to 70 more retirements that are happening. But our city can't afford to keep up with what should be, that they allow, about 1,700 officers. And when we talk about detectives, it should be about 175, he says. We're down to like about 130. Yep. And then also, on top of that, the Milwaukee County leaders are talking about the sheriff's office, that we're dealing with a huge budget deficit. How are we going to meet that budget deficit? $7.2 million in overtime he was talking about with the deputies. So we're talking about money here.
Sure.
Who's going to pay for it? And also we're trying to get people, to be recruited. So how is the Trump organization going to pay for that and support that? Because detectives, for example, we had a local situation, Sade Robinson. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it was a terrible case. She was going on a date with her boyfriend, and then she was cut up in several pieces, and it's horrible.
Ugh, it's awful.
Part of her body was found in Illinois along the lakefront. Her family's really upset. But there's only so many detectives to go around with other cases. Like we have so many carjackings that are going up. This is a real issue, but how are we going to pay for it? How is your organization going to pay for that?
So let me give you a couple answers to this question, because it is, unfortunately, this is a story that I hear all over our country. A lot of police departments can't recruit the people that they need to keep us safe, and it's only going to get worse unless we fix this problem, and Donald Trump and I promise that we are going to fix this problem. First of all, you hear from police officers, and I've heard this story today, but again, I've heard it from all over our country. A lot of the reason that it's hard to recruit police officers right now is because our leaders have attacked the police for so long that a lot of people just don't want to do police work anymore. That is the first thing that leadership needs to change. We need to make it clear that we want good people, we want good police officers, we want the very best to join the American police forces all over our country, because unless we have the best people becoming police, public safety is always going to be a fantasy and not a reality. So let's have leaders who support the work of police, not people like Kamala Harris who put the police down and make their life harder. That's number one. But second, when we talk about money, first of all, when we talk about scarce municipal resources, and I know a lot of towns and municipalities are dealing with limited resources, we have to ask ourselves, why are the resources scarce in the first place? And a big part of the reason is that we are spending millions of dollars housing, sheltering, and providing medical care for people who shouldn't be here. Those are the people who have come in across Kamala Harris's wide open southern border. When you take millions of dollars that should go to our local police departments and you put it in sheltering and providing medical care for illegal aliens, it is the least in our community, the least of these in our communities who suffer the most. It is innocent children who need cops to keep their streets safe. It is innocent poor people who need municipal services to work, and they are the ones who suffer the most when you have a wide open southern border. That costs money. It costs a lot of money here in Milwaukee, and it is a big driver of scarce resources. So what I would propose is you have a federal government that supports our local police, that you get the illegal aliens out of this country and you free up precious budgetary resources to hire some police and focus on public safety. One final point on this is I think to the point about making police officers' lives easier, one of the weirdest things that exists in American public policy, and I didn't realize this until a couple years ago. I was a United States Senator. I have sponsored legislation to fix this, and I know President Trump agrees with me. Police officers are actually penalized because they don't get the same access to their Social Security benefits as most American workers, because effectively the way that it works is the dollar that goes into their pension is taken out of their Social Security. So you're basically penalizing our police officers, taking away their Social Security when they want to get to retirement. I think if we stopped that, it would make it easier to recruit some police officers. Do the police officers out there agree with me? Stop that double taxation of benefits. I think so.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel to always be informed.